Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the Legend of the Five Rings Go stream. I'm going to be joined by Midori Kage, Asahina Masami on the L5R server, and I'm going to be teaching them how to play Go. So since this is a teaching stream, I'd also like to, anyone in chat who is interested in learning how to play, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So just waiting here on my opponent. Probably be a minute or two. Alright, I think I have it on push to talk. Let me figure that out real quick. When I have it on push to talk, I feel like I always forget to push the button. Maybe I'll put it on toggle. And what is the button? It's like C. Alright, hello? Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah, so I guess if you want to enable your microphone on here, you can do that, or we could just do it through Discord. I think the default push to talk button is C. Could try that.
Test? Hello?
Hi. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So, first thing I want to say is the standard Go board is 19 by 19. It's a little bit bigger than this one, but just to start out, we're going to be playing on the 9 by 9. There are 3 different sizes that are typically played, the 9 by 9, 13 by 13, and 19 by 19, which is the standard one. Usually I start people out on the smaller one like this. So, have you ever been exposed to the game before at all, or is this your first time?
First time.
Alright. It's been a while since I played myself, so 1 second here.
No problem.
So let's just start out with, so the rules of Go are pretty simple. You take turns, black and white. You play on the intersections, not the spaces. You can play on any intersection you want, even on the edge, and the corner as well. Whoops. And the goal of the game is to surround territory. So one good way to think about it that I like to use is you can think about it like each stone is like a fence post that you're placing, like you're going to build a fence. So anything that you enclose with your stones becomes your territory. Like, for example, here, these 4 spaces in between the black stones are black territory. And that is the standard way to get points. The other way to get points is by capturing your opponent's stones. So to capture a stone, you have to completely surround it. And this is only vertically and horizontally, not diagonally. So, for example, to capture this white stone, you would have to place stones here in these 4 spaces. And then when you capture it, you take it off the board, and I just have bags here for the capture piles. Yeah, stones need to breathe, as Kawajiri Kira says in the chat. There are different ways of thinking about it. I think that's the Chinese way of thinking about it, is like your stones need breathing space, and so if you occupy all of the breathing spaces, then the stone can't breathe anymore and it dies. Again, this is not including diagonal spaces, so you don't need to play in those. And if you do play in those, it doesn't really do anything extra. So like, you know, this stone is still just as captured as if you didn't have those moves. So if we have a white stone here and black is trying to capture it, if white wants to escape here, white can play a stone here. And now since these 2 stones are adjacent to each other, they're connected, and they share breathing spaces, essentially. So now if black wants to capture them, he'll have to play here, here, and here as well. So essentially, a group of stones, like in any amount of stones of the same color that are connected, you have to occupy all of the breathing spaces that are adjacent to those to capture them. Any questions so far, or keep going?
Seems pretty simple to basically make, if you're starting.
What's that?
Yeah, it
Yep.
looks pretty.
All right. Okay, so one more thing I should probably go over is so just as an example, say that you have this group of white stones here. If black wants to try to capture, he can go around surrounding all of the outside points like we saw before. Whoops. And now at this point, all of the outside, we call them liberties. Those are essentially the breathing spaces, like I was saying. So all of the outside liberties are filled in by black stones, but there's still one on the inside here. So the white stones are not captured yet. So you can have internal breathing spaces as well as external ones. So to go back a couple moves here, say it's like this now. So white still has these 3 spaces on the outside. If black tried to play a stone on the inside here, the black stone would immediately have no open spaces adjacent to it. So the black stone would immediately be captured. So that is actually an illegal play. That's one of the few times where you can actually not play on an open space, is if playing there would result in your own stones being captured. If this white group were extended by one space, now there are two empty spaces, black is allowed to play one stone here, since it still has one open space next to it. White could capture it by playing here, but doesn't really need to. Now, however, black cannot play here, because now these two stones are out of breathing space. So going back to the position where black has surrounded it, one other quick side note is if you're on the edge of the board like this, you have one less breathing space essentially. There's just nothing off of the edge. So in the center it takes 4 moves to capture a single stone. On the edge it only takes 3. So that would be here, here, and here. And then in the corner it would only take 2. So generally when you're on the edge or in the corner you have to be a little bit more careful. You can also use that to your advantage though by surrounding territory. So this empty space here would be a point of white territory, even though it's not completely enclosed because it's on the edge there. So back to our group here, the white group is surrounded, but it still has these 2 inside spaces. So let's actually go back to just having 1 inside space here. So like I was saying, normally black would not be able to play here, right? Because that would be a suicide move. However, in this case, black is allowed to play here because playing that move takes away white's last liberty, because that was white's last inside liberty there. So you're actually allowed to do that, and that will capture all of these white stones. And then after they get captured, this black stone in the middle is fine now, because it has empty space next to it. So that's the one time you are allowed to play a technically suicide move, is if it would capture enemy stones. So it's like exploding a stone with water. Interesting metaphor. So a question that might arise is, how do I prevent my stones from being captured, right? The mod would have been helped with state, so you could just one-click it. Yeah, I mean, the Tabletop Simulator mod is fine for playing games. It's a little bit less good for doing like review stuff. There are like online clients that you can download. There's even one that's browser based. But Tabletop Simulator is kind of nice as well because you actually get like you get to see it like it's an actual board and stones, which is kind of nice. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Let's do something like this. So say we have this big white group here. It has 3 inside spaces now. And again, black is trying to surround the whole thing. Whoop. So what white can do now to prevent itself from getting captured is white can play here. Now what this does is it splits the inside into 2 separate sections, right? One there and one there. So now, if black tried to play in either one of those spaces, this would be an illegal move, because the black stone would capture it, it would just die, right? And it's not capturing white stones because they still have the other empty space. So both of these moves now become illegal moves. If black were able to play both of them at the same time, then he could capture white, but in Go you can't play 2 moves at once. You can only play one at a time. So this white group, as it stands, is impossible to capture. It could be made possible to capture by white if he filled in one of his own spaces, but obviously you wouldn't want to do that. So the key idea there is you need at least 2 distinct inside spaces. And we usually call these eyes in English. I think that comes from the Japanese term. They have different terms in different languages. Like, I believe in China they call them lungs. You need at least 2 lungs to breathe, essentially. Or like Japanese, you need at least 2 eyes to see, something like that. If you only have one, then it's not good enough.
It's fitting analogy.
Yeah, there are a lot of analogies like that. I forget what the Koreans say. Something about houses, I think, but I can't remember. So, if we back up one move to before white had played here, if it's black's turn now, black actually still has a chance to capture this group by playing in the same space. And by playing there, it's now impossible for white to split this inside space into 2 separate spaces. If you play in either one of these, then you're reducing yourself to only 1 liberty, and black can just capture you. So at that point, this white group is what we would call this white group dead. So that's the terms for it. A group is either alive or dead based on whether they have at least 2 eyes or don't. And of course, it's always possible, like say there's another white group over here that has 1 eye on the edge. If this black stone went here, white could connect these 2 groups together. And now it has 1 eye over here and 1 in this area. So connecting groups together is usually a good way to keep them alive because they share their eyes.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else I should cover before we just start playing. There are, so the rules of the game, those are basically all the rules. There is one more rule that I haven't covered, but it's kind of like a specific case thing that doesn't always happen. So I'll just talk about that if it does happen. So yeah, the rules are pretty simple, but when you actually start playing the game, you realize that, there's a lot of complicated stuff that can happen, which makes things pretty interesting. Oh yeah, how to win. Maybe I should talk about that. So, like I said earlier, scoring. The main idea of the game is to surround territory and capture your opponent's stones. So, the end of the game, the way that the game ends is always kind of hard to, it's kind of hard for new players to understand at first. It kind of takes some experience before you can sort of see how it works. Essentially, what I like to say is the game ends when it's over, because that kind of is just how it works. To be more precise, the game ends when, well, technically the game ends when both players pass consecutively. So on your turn, you can either play a stone on any legal space on the board, or you can pass. Generally, there's no reason to pass unless you think the game is over. So until both players think the game is over, the game is not over, is essentially how it works. And the way you know the game is over is there will be no spaces left on the board that you can play that will gain you a point by playing there. So, wondering if I should try to set up something here or just...
So basically, once there's no legal places left, you count points up, and then whoever has the most technically wins?
Yeah, pretty much. Except not just no legal spaces left, but at the end of the game there will be legal plays left, but all of the legal plays will either lose you points by playing them, or will just not gain you any points. So a good example of that is, like, say this black group is on the edge here. Yeah, like Kira says in chat, sometimes making a move makes your situation worse. So currently on the edge here, this black group, just ignoring the rest of the board, the black group has 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. If black were to play a move here, that is technically a legal move. You can do that if you want. However, now black only has 3 points. So playing this move actually lost black a point. White could play here as well. This is also technically a legal move. However, this white stone has no way to survive. It's trapped over here in the black territory. And at the end of the game, if there's a stone that has no way to make 2 eyes, or connect to a group that has 2 eyes, then we remove that stone and treat it as if it had been captured. So if you're playing under Japanese rules where captures are 1 point each, then this move would also lose white a point. I'll go over the different scoring systems real quick, just kind of briefly. The main scoring systems are Japanese and Chinese. In Japanese rules, you get points for empty territory and points for stones that you captured, 1 point each. In Chinese rules, you get points for empty spaces and points for your stones that are on the board, but you don't get points for captured stones. They're not actually worth anything. Which scoring system you use doesn't usually make a difference. Like, the same player will win the game no matter how you score it usually, but it does make certain interactions in the game work a little bit differently sometimes. We're going to be just using the Japanese rules where empty spaces of territory are 1 point and captures are also 1 point. Let's see, what was I saying? Another way that so that was an example of how a move would lose you a point for playing it. It's also possible that a move doesn't get you any points at all, but it doesn't lose you points either. So this space right here, it's currently not surrounded by stones of a single color. There are white stones on this side and then a black stone over here. So this space is nobody's territory. We call it like no man's land. Oh man, I forgot the Japanese term for it. It's been a while. Oh well, it's not really important. But yeah, so this space is not worth points for either player. So either player, Dame, that's what it is, thank you to Daniel ML. Yeah. So white could play here if he wants. Black could also play here, but playing there would be a net gain of 0 points. So generally, players in Japanese rules, players won't do that at all. In Chinese rules, it actually is kind of important since, like I said, the stones that you place on the board give you 1 point each. But still, since it's only worth 1 point, you would save that till the end of the game. Usually there's a bigger move somewhere else. But yeah, so say the rest of the board on this side is just all filled up with stones. In Japanese rules, the game would be essentially over at this point. If one of the players wanted to play here, then he could, that's fine. But then after that, they would both pass, and then they would count points. So I guess if we just... yes, I am teaching someone specific. It is Midori Masami, who is in the game with me here. We're gonna start playing a game in a minute. I'm just going over all the rules first. Yeah, so if we just assume that the points on all of the rest of the board evened out, it would be 4 for black here, these 3 and this one, and then white has 6, so white would be up by 2. Another thing to note here is that this white group, as it currently stands, only has 1 large eye. Like I said, you do need 2 eyes to be alive. However, that is okay because there's no single move that black could play that would reduce this white group to only one eye. If black played here, white could play here. Now white has this and this. If black played there, white plays there. And then still two. That is another thing that is kind of tough at first, is seeing which moves are unnecessary. For example, if there's a white stone here, now it actually is necessary to play another move, because if black plays here, there's actually no way for white to make two eyes. And we could go through the variations and show why that is. Whoops. But that's something you'll kind of just see with more experience. Not really too important right now. I guess I could go over a couple of, like, what do you think? Do you want to just try playing a game now, or should I talk about a couple of, like, trick moves and stuff?
How about something like maybe a good example of a couple good opening moves, and then yeah, we could go to a game.
Okay, yeah, I could talk about... Yeah, so someone in chat says Go isn't really like chess with specific trap lines. Yeah, that's true. There are like sort of little trick moves that you can do, and again, that's something you just learn with experience. There are also like common shapes that you see a lot. Like one you'll see is the ladder, and that's when you have a situation like this. When white plays here, currently white only has one liberty. If he plays here, he expands to two liberties. Then black plays here, he's back down to one, and you sort of end up in this repeating pattern where white is just trying to run away, but black keeps stopping him. And then eventually white will get to the end of the board and run out of space to run, and then he'll get captured. However, this doesn't work if white has like a stone over here. Now if black tries to do the same thing, white connects up, and now he has three liberties. So if black keeps trying to capture him, white can do, he could threaten to capture two separate stones at once here. Hello, Tristram Wolf. Yeah, I am a Go player. I have not played in a while, but I was pretty not terrible at it back when I used to play. Yeah, you play Go too, don't you, Tristram Wolf? If you wanted to come on sometime and play some games, we could do that maybe. What I'm kind of hoping we can do is get like, I was talking about this before. It would be cool if we could make like a Go Club channel on the L5R Discord server. How strong you are. Again, I haven't played in quite a while, but back when I did play, my best rank was like 2Q. Something around there. But yeah, if we could get more people on the L5R server interested in Go, that would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That would be really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, opening strategy. I'll talk about that real quick. So on the large board, the 19 by 19, the opening is very different, roughly 10 or 11Q. Go Club scoring points for clans. Yeah, we could do like a clan battle. That'd be cool. But anyway, fun winter court event. Yeah, for sure. I'm planning on going to Worlds currently, and I do have some Go boards I could bring. If anyone wanted to play there, that would be fun. I use Go Stones for my Honored Dishonored tokens, since I have a bunch. Yeah, so anyway, on the full-size board, the 19 by 19, the opening strategy is very different because the board is so large that there's a lot more you have to sort of consider. On the small board like this, it's a lot simpler. It sort of just gets into fighting a lot more quickly. Shooterev says making a Go channel on the Discord would require a good number of interested players or a cool concept to tie it to L5R. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna, try to get people interested, see how it goes. I am already part of a Go server, but I don't really go on it that much. Mainly just the L5R one. Yeah, keep getting distracted here. So yeah, on the small board, there isn't as much opening strategy. One thing I should say though is that play generally starts out in the corners, and then after that you move to the sides, and then finally the center. There isn't much of a center on the small board, but let me show why that is. So if you want to surround territory in the corner like this, these 5 stones are currently surrounding 4 points. Now, if you want to surround 4 points on the side, it's going to take more stones. Let's just do this real quick. So, again, technically you don't need these corner ones, but let's just include them. So that's 8 on the side and only 5 in the corner for the same amount of territory. And then in the center, if you don't use the edges at all, it's going to take 12, I believe. So yeah, basically, since the sides of the board help you surround territory by making it so you don't need to put stones on that part, it's a lot easier to make more points in the corner or on the side than it is in the center. So generally, you'll see players starting out by playing moves in the corners. These little black circles you see on the board, those don't actually mean anything in terms of gameplay. They're just a space like anything else. Those are called star points, actually. I think that's related to like how I think there are like theories about how originally the Go board was thought to represent the sky, and then the stones were like constellations or stars. One second. But yeah, there's a lot of cool history behind Go, which you would expect since it's been around for quite a long time. Definitely worth looking into if you're interested in that sort of thing. But yeah, so these star points are generally good places to start, the ones in the corner. Again, since it's the small board, there's not really as much variation, but on the bigger board, you'll see people sometimes starting out closer to the corner and then sometimes closer to the center, depending on how they want to play. If you start out closer to the side, that means you're focusing more on getting territory, since it's easier to just make points there. Whereas if you play closer to the center, like this, and then white says, okay, I'm going to come in here in the corner, now white is kind of destroying your territory there. But at the same time, since your stones are more in the center than white stones, if I just do something like this, you're getting what we call influence here. Whereas white, since white is kind of restricted here to the corner, these white stones don't have any influence on the rest of the board. Whereas, like, say you're trying to capture a white stone here, and white runs this way, white is running right into your other stones here. So that's going to be bad news. And again, you'll see more of that when you play more. What rank server are you? I mentioned this a minute ago. I haven't actually played Go in quite a while. Back when I did play, I played on KGS, and I was like 2K at my peak. But yeah, so I think that is everything we need to start playing. A couple more things, actually. So usually black goes first in an even game. However, I'm going to give you a handicap since this is your first game. And that's another thing that the star points are used for, is that's where the handicap stones go. We're going to do 5 stones for now. It's usually what I start people out on, and we'll see how that goes. And
Okay.
yeah, should be good to go. So since it's a handicap, I will go first. And yeah, if you have like any questions during the game, feel free to ask. Same goes for anyone in chat who's watching. Good to go, yep. Kira, are you on the L5R server? Sounded like you were familiar with that. Oh, are you? That might actually be, shoot. That might be WHW. Yeah. Okay. Man, I actually have to think about this. I think I just play here. It's been too long. Whoops. Man, that's kind of annoying. When I try to go to another window, but this is still the active window, it scrolls. Alright, that seems good.
Is it possible to run out of stones, or are you generally expected to have enough to do just about everything on the board?
It is not possible to run out of stones. I mean, physically it might be possible, but in the game rules that's not a thing. Like, technically you're not supposed to run out. Fun fact, actually, a full Go set comes with 181 black stones and 180 white stones, which adds up to 361, which is the exact number of spaces on the full-size 19 by 19 board. Generally, you don't even need that many because you're obviously not filling in every single space. But yeah, that is the traditional stone count. Hold on, what do I want to do? Hello, Xylan64. Now I want to buy a Go set and play with my father. Yeah, Go is a lot of fun. So this is an interesting situation here. My mic is muted in game, but I'll just talk about it anyway. So my 2 stones here have 1 liberty left there. So now I have to capture these stones. So these stones are now captured. And yeah, what I was saying before I unmuted my mic there was when these 2 were here, you were threatening to capture by playing there, right? So at that point, I sort of was forced to capture those to protect my own stones. Yellow Mountain Imports. Yeah, Yellow Mountain Imports is good. I've bought some stuff from them before. Yeah, I just play there, I think. But yeah, definitely if you have the money to get a full-size board, that's definitely much better than one of the little travel sets. I'm kind of just... I think if black plays here... Let's see, if black had played there... No, I'm still fine, because I capture these. Yeah, I'm fine. I was going to say, like, maybe I'm relying too much on my opponent being a new player, but... No, I'm just fine. But yeah, if you can... Definitely if you can get, like, a thicker wooden board, it's definitely a lot nicer. There's a roll-up full-size board with stones for $50. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I have a pretty nice wooden board, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to bring it out in a while. There used to be a Go club locally where I live, but we haven't been meeting for a while because one of our biggest members went out of state. Is capturing better here, or should I connect? If I connect, he gets forcing moves, but like I think that's just fine. Don't think it really matters. Yep, so that... And now I just descend and everything is dead. Right. I mean, not the top part, obviously, but... Well, actually... I mean, I don't really want to kill everything. Yeah, let's just descend. It's fine. Killing everything would be kind of mean. I think I just don't even have to respond to that. I guess I will, though. Okay. So now I just play... He's still dead if I play here, right? Yeah, it's fine. Just play there. Like, there's no way for this to live, I think. So now I just... Yeah, I don't even have to play there. I'll just capture this. I always play that if I don't teach my opponent about life and death and making eyes, I let anything with a shape that could possibly live stay alive. Yeah, I should... I don't know. I feel like... One thing I feel like is that when I play against someone and I give them a handicap, I get like kind of worried at the start, like, oh, they have so many stones, I better, catch up. And then before I know it, everything on their side is just dead. I should probably go a little bit easier. Mortarok, hello. The name of the software I'm using is Tabletop Simulator. It is a program, you can buy it on Steam. When it's on sale, you can get it for like $15 or so, I think. It's a nice piece of software. It's basically for playing board games as if with other people as if you were actually at a tabletop. So it doesn't have like any of the rules for Go built in or any other games. It's just kind of like an actual tabletop. It's nice to look at least. Nicer than most of the online clients. Yep, so now I have to capture this. And then what black should do at this point is make this top group live. What I'll probably do is just descend here to try and... Ooh, well that's kind of a trap too, isn't it? Okay, black's gonna play there. That's good. Now I can play... that's the trap still though. I'll see what happens. Yeah, this is actually probably better for teaching, that's true. Because when you click and the stone just appears there, then it's kind of fast. So if black connects here, my opponent can't actually hear me currently, unless they're watching the stream. If black were to connect here, I'll just capture this, I guess. If black were to connect here, I would play here, and that would capture. Black is going to go ahead and do that. I will not capture it to be nice, because that would kill that whole black group. But, yeah, the correct move is to actually connect. At this point, you could play down here as well. Doesn't really matter. Connect is probably better, less co-threats, but we don't need to know about co yet. Yep, that is good. Now I will play there. That was a dame. No points, but it's the last move on the board. That is worth points. I think I'll go ahead and unmute now so we can talk about this. So at this point, the game is reaching the end. There aren't too many spots left that can be played that would be worth points. And in fact, the move that I just played there was actually the last move that was neutral or better. That was a dame space. It's not surrounded by stones of either color, so it's 0 points for whoever plays there. But yeah, there are no other moves, which again might not be immediately apparent, but when you have more experience, you get better at seeing that. So currently on the board, the black group up here is alive. It has 2 separate eyes, so that's fine. the white group is kind of all connected into one giant group going through the center here. And that has plenty of eyes, so that's alive. These black stones over here on the sides do not have enough space to live. And again, that might not be immediately apparent. But like if black tries to play here, white plays here, black plays here. Oh, I guess white wouldn't play there. White plays here, that's correct. Looks like black already got 5. Oh, I think you are thinking of a different game. Gomuku, probably. Connect 5. So the game we're playing here is called Go. Or was that a joke? I'm not sure. But yeah, this game is called Go. If you aren't familiar with it, you can look it up. It's a pretty fun game. But yeah, so black would play here, white plays here. Black cannot split this into 2 eyes. That's just 1 eye. If he had 2 moves, you could play there and there and capture this white stone, but with only 1 move, white would play here. 95% joke, yeah, probably. So yeah, this black group is dead. Same thing with this one over here. Not really enough space to make eyes. And I guess you'll kind of just have to trust me on that. Yeah, so this is where we would score the game. We would remove all of these black stones, which we have decided are dead. And usually, like, at this point, if one of the players thinks that some stones are dead and the other player thinks that they're not, you might actually have to go back to the game and continue playing to decide whether they're actually dead or not. But usually both players will agree on which stones are dead, and you'll just remove those. Oops. And then they would count points. White has more points here. Not really worth actually counting. I can show you a cool trick though for counting. One thing that people like to do, and you see this a lot in like physical games because it makes it easier. Usually on like the online clients, they would automatically count it for you, but since we don't have that here, if we pick up this white stone and move it to a different space in white territory, we're gaining white a point here, but losing white a point here, so it's neutral. It didn't change the amount of points. So essentially, as long as we stay inside white's territory, we can just move these stones around wherever we want. And by doing that, we can make it easier to count. Because now, instead of, 3 points here, 4 points there, etc., it's 3 by 9, so 27 plus 8, so 35. So that makes it a bit easier. If you want to take it a step further as well, you could also fill in your opponent's territory with prisoners. And this works because prisoners are worth 1 point and your opponent's territory is worth 1 point, so they cancel each other out, essentially. So that's, if you go to like an actual Go club where people are playing with physical stones, that's what you'll see them do at the end of the game. They fill in the territory and then move it around so it's nicer to count. How do I empty this? Let's see if I can... Maybe I think this is the easiest way. I just draw them all and then delete them. Okay, so one thing that I usually like to do after playing a game like that is to go back through it and talk about the moves. Yeah, figured that out. So so we started out like this. My first move was here, and then you played here. So So it seemed like your strategy at the start was to just say, okay, I'm gonna just take this territory, right? Now I have these 4
Yeah,
points.
I was just going for
Yeah,
doing something until I got the hang of things.
yeah, and yeah, that's fine. The only problem with that is Go is a game. It's kind of a game of efficiency. Since you get one move for every one move your opponent gets, you want your moves to be more efficient than your opponent's moves, or else you're gonna fall behind, right? So if you're just going one space at a time like this, you are making territory. How many moves was that? It was. I played there. You're making territory, but I'm getting a lot of stones in a lot of different places, which is going to help me get more points later on. Um, 4, 4.
Yeah, I realized later you were kind of managed to take over the board, and I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah, yeah. Um, this was actually an interesting move here for reasons that I will probably not go into too much. So at this point, when I play this move here, this black stone is essentially captured. This is actually one of those ladders I was talking about, sort of. When you play here, I can just play here, bringing you back down to 1 liberty. If you play there, I play there. If you play there, I play there. So I'm kind of just chasing you towards the edge, and eventually here you're going to get captured. Even if you play here, I can capture there. So at that point, I think you realized that, and believe you played here. And so this move here, it doesn't immediately do anything, so I didn't have to actually respond to it. So I just went ahead and played over here to sort of, so this was kind of a move to split these 2 stones apart. By playing in between them, it makes them difficult to connect. As an alternative example, if I didn't play there and you played there, I can't break these apart now, because if I try to like poke in here, you can connect them this way. Here you can connect there. So they're going to be connected no matter what. And connection is a really important thing in Go, because like I was saying earlier, if a group is connected to another group, they share their eyes. So it's a lot easier to, keep all of your groups alive if you only need to connect them to each other. Let's see. Yeah, so I played there to sort of to split you apart and also to keep myself a little bit more connected. It's very possible for me to connect this side to this side now. I believe you pushed in here now, which is a good move. What this does is it forces me to respond, or you'll capture these 2 white stones by playing there. In fact, I can't even escape here. DMF 21, what rank are you? I haven't played Go in a long time. Back when I did play, I was around 2Q. I can't escape by playing here because you still capture me. So this move forced me to capture your stones here. So essentially, you got a free move. And there's a term for that actually. We call that sente, which sort of means like the initiative. If you play a move that forces your opponent to respond to it, you're like keeping the initiative, because then you can play somewhere else. Whereas if you play a move that doesn't force your opponent to respond to it, now they have the initiative and they can do whatever they want. So that's kind of a concept you'll see at slightly higher levels. This move I think would have been probably better. Let me think. So this move connects your group up. It still forces me to respond, or those stones get captured. This way I could play here if I wanted to, which keeps me connected as well. I think this is better though. They say you don't get worse if you don't play. Yeah, hopefully. There have been quite a few times where I took like a few months or a year off and didn't get too much worse, so This way though, you can continue by playing this move though, and what this does is it keeps my white stones separated. So now if I try to play here to connect them, you can cut me apart. And now what we sort of see is that this area over here is all sort of turning into black's territory.
Yeah, influence.
Yeah. Yeah, Go is like learning to ride a bike, kind of. Um, but yeah, so let's back up. I actually like the cut on the other side a bit better because it forces the capture. Yeah, so Tristramorph is saying that he actually likes this move better because it forces me to capture here. And that's what I was saying. If you play here, then I can connect instead of capturing, which is a lot better for my shape actually. That's a kind of a big concept in Go, is the shape of your stones. There are like certain shapes that are stronger and certain shapes that are weaker. If black is allowed to push in here, it sort of makes all of my stones weaker because they're not strongly connected. Like black could potentially play here and cut me apart. It's a lot better for black's shape too. Even in the other sequence, black pushes in between the 1-point jump, then cuts on the left. Oh, whoops, wrong color. So black cuts here. Oops. Connecting that straight line is really nice for black. Yeah, that's again going back to what I was saying. This long straight line of black stones is really strong because there's no way for white to push through it and cut it in half. And yeah, cutting on this side means that eventually black can play some of these moves and force white to capture again here, which is good. A lot of this is probably more in depth than we need to be going right now. But yeah, let's go back here. So I captured these stones. Maybe I won't put them in there. And then I think you played here. Yeah.
Looks right. I'll be honest, I can't quite remember.
Yeah, and then I played there, I believe. So again, I'm trying to keep my groups connected now. Since you only have one stone on either side here, I don't have too much to worry about. The other problem is these 3 stones now are kind of in danger. They only have 2 liberties right here and right here. So they're only 2 moves away from being captured. And in fact, if I were to play a stone here, that would just instantly capture them, because now even if you try to escape, you still only have 1 liberty there. So really they're 1 move away from being captured. So because of all that, even though my white stones are not strongly connected here, I'm actually pretty safe. Battle Porridge asking what software this is. Let me go back to check that you weren't the one who asked that earlier. Someone asked that earlier. Yeah, it was someone else. This is Tabletop Simulator on Steam. Black's cut at the 3-4 point. Which one? This one? Yeah, so there are definitely still things black can do here. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is essentially a piece of software that allows you to play games with other people as if you were actually sitting at a table playing them. The one with Atari, yeah. So there are a bunch of like pre-installed games you can play. You can download games on the workshop, the Steam Workshop. Pretty cool software. It doesn't have any of the game rules built in, so you do have to know the rules yourself, but it's fun. So yeah, if black had played here, this is threatening to capture this white stone. So now white is kind of forced to connect here to prevent that capture from happening. This is definitely the move that I was worried about. I think anything else, I'm fine. Yeah, because anything other than the Atari there, I should probably explain what that means. We say a stone or a group of stones is in Atari if they're one move away from being captured. So like currently this stone is in Atari because one move could capture it. And the same for a group of stones. So like when these black stones here only had this one liberty left, they were in Atari. Or like if I were to play here, then these black stones would be. So yeah, white would be forced to connect. And then what does black do? Black has to keep threatening captures, right? So I think black plays here. White extends. Black plays here. You have to do something about this. So yeah, I think black plays here. And then white just captures these. And black gets the other side. I think that's correct. So in this variation, if we just extend it out a few moves, white would capture these two stones and get this whole corner, and then black would capture these two stones over here and get this whole side. Let's back it up again. Let's see, where were we? No, that was there. Yeah, so oh, this wasn't there. That's what it is. So let's see, what was the next move here? I know that I eventually connected there, I think. Can't actually remember what the next move was. Let's see.
Didn't I go down to the bottom corner and did something more?
The Atari on the other side? You mean this one? Did you play that one? I don't think you did.
No.
No. Oh, on the other side. That one maybe. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because then I connected here because you were threatening to capture this stone. And then I believe you played here. Yeah. So at this point, these three white stones here are in a little bit of trouble because there's black stones on every side. But again, because of this move here that would capture these three black stones, they're actually not in a whole lot of trouble. The move I expected here was this one, but even then I'm not worried about it because I just capture those. So I think you have to... Yeah, I think no matter what, it just has to be a connect here at some point to remove that weakness. But yeah, you played here, so my white stones now have two liberties. So I do have to do something because if you play one more move, now I only have one, and I can't capture these in one move, it takes two. So I played here, now I'm back up to 3 liberties. And what this also does is, in the future, if I want to, I can play here, and that will capture this black stone. So this is something you'll see a lot is, if a stone is on the edge like this, and you manage to bring it down to 1 liberty that's just on the edge here, that stone cannot run away anymore, because if it tries to go down, you just go down on either side, and now it only has 1 liberty, and it can't run away. Because even if you play there, you still only have 1. So generally, at that point, this stone will just be considered captured. And then since these two stones don't have space to make eyes, they would be dead as well. So at this point, you could play here. That would force me to, again, capture these 3 stones. I think you played here.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so generally, that's one thing I should probably point out is that generally you don't want to play a move on the edge or in the corner unless you absolutely have to. Do you have a lot of experience teaching Go? I would say I have a not bad amount of experience teaching Go. I don't know if I'm particularly good at it, but I have done it before. If you have any suggestions, then I'd definitely like to hear them. But yeah, you generally don't want to play on the edge or in the corner unless you absolutely have to, because oh, okay. Ooh, Evan's here. Would love to learn Go. Yeah, definitely. If you want to rewatch this from the beginning, that would be probably a pretty good way. I will upload this to YouTube as long as Masami doesn't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm definitely going too deep in this review. I can definitely see that. I blame the people in chat who are talking about things, but I guess I shouldn't be listening to them. Yeah, but Evan, if you would like to be on, yeah, she just learned today. Evan, if you would like to be on a future Go stream and I could teach you how to play, I'd definitely be down for that. Or anyone else. So where was I?
We're on about not going
Yeah,
on
not
the
not
edge.
playing. Yeah, not playing on the edges. Like I was saying earlier, if you play on the edge, you only have 3 liberties instead of 4. So it's easier to capture that stone, and even easier in the corner since you only have 2. And the other thing is, you actually only really need 2 moves to capture the stone, unless there's somewhere for it to run to. Could teach you Shogi as payment. So I'm not sure if it'll be like a series, but Gax, LOL, I'm not sure if you are on the Legend of the Five Rings Discord server, but that is where a lot of people here are from. That's where I kind of advertise this. What I'm planning to do, hopefully, is start some kind of Go Club as part of that server, since it is related to what we do anyway, if I can get enough people interested. And yeah, I'd definitely be down to learn Shogi as well. I've never played that before. So yeah, at this point, this white stone is actually already captured, because if he tries to run away, even if this stone isn't here, black can just continue to push him down towards the corner, and eventually you run out of space, right? So
Gives meaning to the phrase backs into a corner.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like this move here, I can see that you're trying to capture these white stones, but playing on the edge is not the best way to do that. Yeah, it's just too vulnerable to, like, even if if this stone weren't there, I could just play here and then push you to the corner like I showed. Even with the stone here, I can play here and capture that, because you still won't be able to run away. I would capture
the
it like
minute
that.
I did it, I realized I'd done something wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. It's your first game, so it definitely takes a lot of experience, and I probably should have gone through this more quickly so we could just start another game instead of me just talking about things, because that would be a lot more useful, honestly. Yeah, I don't know if the rest of the game is really worth talking about too much. I just connected something like that. Or did you play? Maybe it was the other way. Yeah, it was the other way. Never actually played it, but have the rules memorized. Yeah, well, that's the nice thing about Go is that the rules are really easy to memorize because they're very simple. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything too interesting in the rest of this game. The main concepts that I want to focus on are, making efficient moves. Like, if you're just extending one stone at a time, you're going to be covering a smaller amount of territory than, like, say, if I'm jumping. Now, I basically have all of this territory on this side. Shogi is the most fun form of chess. Yeah, I really should try it. Yeah, Go is definitely my favorite of the chess-like games, if that makes sense. But yeah, so like black here has spent 3 stones to just get half of the side essentially, whereas white spent 3 to get the whole side. Um, what you'll see in much higher level play even is people will jump like really far. Like you might see a 4 space jump like this. Now these stones are pretty far apart, and Go is the way to go. Yeah. Um, they aren't actually like this. This over here is not solid white territory, but the important thing is that it is potentially a lot of white territory, and it also gives you like some influence. So I guess the point is potentially a lot of territory for 2 moves is better than for sure a little bit amount of territory for more than 2 moves, right? Um, but yeah, on the smaller board, that's kind of less of an issue again. So yeah, do you want to try another game here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me set it up again. That will be my first move. Yeah, there are a lot of proverbs in Go. One of the proverbs is, let's see if I can remember it. Something about if you want to get good at the game, lose your first 50 games quickly. And the idea being basically that when you first start playing, you're going to lose a lot, obviously, because you don't know how to play yet. But the more you play, the more experience you get, and the more you see how the game works. And then, eventually you start to get a feeling for it. So it's important to just play like a lot of games more than spending too much time thinking about things. And I can see that you've already improved quite a bit here.
The explanation helps greatly.
Yeah. Yeah, Tristram Wolf says to become skilled at Go, first learn the rules, then lose 100 games as quickly as possible. Some variation of that saying. But yeah, that's definitely one of the really cool things about Go is that I hope you don't mind if I kind of talk about things while we're playing.
No, go for it.
I might have to think about things every once in a while. What do I do here? Let's try that. That's one of the cool things about Go is that it has like an incredible depth to it. So you can really just like play the game for your whole life and it never stops being interesting. Yeah, so that does capture that stone. Let's see. I think I pushed through. let's see. Let's try that. Yeah, you don't become skilled in your first 100 games, but you learn how you learn how to not mind losing, I guess you could say that. But yeah, you really do need to get like a feel for the game. Yeah, Kira says I suggest trying to play aggressive, better for learning than defensiveness.
It's interesting. I've played chess, although not recently, but it's almost easier to be aggressive with this game than it is with chess, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Interesting. You would at least start to play. Yeah, moving up to the 19 by 19 board is kind of a big hurdle to get over. Some people who I've taught how to play just wanted to stay on the 9 by 9 forever, basically. Like, they didn't really want to move up because they felt like, I guess, they were still just trying to figure out the best way to play on the small board before moving up to the big board. But yeah, it really is like a very different animal. Yeah, 19 by 19 is definitely a lot more fun, I would agree. I usually support moving to 19 by 19 as soon as you are solid at the rules and good at noticing Atari. Yeah, I think moving up to the 19 by 19 as soon as possible is probably better. But yeah, some people just like to stay on the 9 by 9, I guess, which is fine. Uh, it's a little bit less common, but there are actually competitive, like professional games played on the 9 by 9 and 13 by 13 boards. They do tournaments for those. I'm gonna capture those. But yeah, I think once you move up to the 19 by 19 board, you really sort of get to start to see the complexities of the game and how interesting it really is. But yeah, there are definitely some 9 by 9 games can definitely be interesting. I guess I'll connect. Yep, so that will capture that. Let's see. Try that. So a fun fact for all of you people, some of you may have heard of this already, but a couple of years ago there was an interesting thing that happened. Yeah, 19 by 19 is where it really shines above chess. Yeah, that's another key part of Go is that sometimes it's possible, or actually pretty often it's possible to lose the battle but win the war, and so that can be a big part of the game, like knowing when to fight your battles. Yeah, Black has definitely improved a lot since the last game. Ooh, and I see an opportunity to talk about the rule that I haven't talked about yet. So let's take a look at this Blackstone here. Currently it has 1 liberty, right? If white were to play here, that would be it's one of those moves where it looks like a suicide move, but since it's capturing this Blackstone, it's fine. So that would be allowed. However, now this white stone is kind of in the same position. It only has 1 liberty here. So technically black would be able to play there and capture it back. And what would happen then is you would get into an infinite fight of like just capturing back and forth that would potentially never end. And that could actually be a pretty big deal sometimes because, like, say saving this stone or killing it for black is really important, then you definitely want to win that fight here. So to prevent games from getting into an infinite loop, they created a rule called the co-rule, which I believe the origin of the name is like that it means eternity, I think. Um, so essentially, the rule is that there are different levels of it. Like some levels of it are you can never repeat the same game state. So like for example, if white were to capture here, and then black captures back, the game would now be in the same state as it was before on the board with the same player to play. So that would be illegal. Um, I think that's called superco if it's just the whole board state. Um, Essentially, though, the rule is if you capture one of these, the other player is not allowed to immediately capture back because then, you're just back in the same spot. So what you could do then is black could play somewhere else on the board, like let's just say there for an example. And then if white responds to this move, now black can go back and capture this because they've played these two moves somewhere else, so now the board looks different, so it's okay to go back and capture it. So sometimes you get into what they call a co-fight, where both players want this capture. So what they'll do is they'll try to play a move somewhere else that threatens to do something bad. There's not really a great one on the board, but let me just make one real quick. Let's say this were the situation over here. Or actually even just this. So in this case, black could play this move here as a co-threat. That's what they would call it. It wouldn't be a very good one because this doesn't actually live if black gets another move, but let's say that it does. Let's say that black is like connected this way. Not too important, but so anyway, black could play here, and that's, whoops, come on, that's threatening to capture this white stone. So now white has to say, okay, I either go back and fill this in so black can't continue the co, or I come over here and respond to that move by capturing this black stone. But now if I do that, black can continue the co by capturing there, and now I have to find a co-threat. Yeah, so that situation doesn't always occur, but it can be pretty important when it does. I'm not actually going to try to fight that this game. I'm just going to play over here. But it is still an option if I want to do it later, unless this white stone gets captured. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying earlier, there was an event that happened a couple years ago. Google created an artificial intelligence program that learned how to play Go, and it actually beat one of the world champion Go players, which is something that's actually never happened before. An AI has never been able to beat a professional Go player. They mastered chess a while ago because chess has a lot fewer possibilities, but Go is just on the big board. It's so complex that computers were never able to match a professional human, but they finally did it. And there's actually a documentary they made about that's on Netflix. If any of you guys want to go check that out, it's a pretty good watch. Calamari Atari, hello. What is that emote? Yeah, they made a self-learning AI that because like how do you teach a computer to do something that humans don't know how to do, right? Um, oh yeah, this is a tabletop simulator on Steam. It's a nice program. I keep talking about it, but I'll talk about it again. Essentially, it simulates like being at a table with friends playing board games. There are some built-in board games you can play. Go is one of them. Yeah, and you can also download games to play on the Steam Workshop. People make mods for different board games that they want to play. Obviously, it doesn't have the rules for the game coded into it because how are you going to do that for every game? But yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty cool program. But yeah, so essentially they made an AI that learned how to play Go on its own, which was pretty cool. And yeah, again, that the documentary on Netflix is a really good watch. You don't actually have to know anything about Go at all to watch it. It's still a good movie. Definitely recommend it. Go ahead and capture that. Is that one of your emotes, Calamari? It's on my second monitor, so it's kind of hard to make out. Looks like a squid of some sort. So, so this move here is actually an illegal move.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so the reason for that, yeah, Tristram Wolf, if you want to get in here and play some games, that would be cool. The reason this is an illegal move is because at this point, these two black stones have exactly one liberty right here. So this move would be filling in the last liberty, and it would be a suicide move essentially. So, yeah, you can't play that. If you had stones here and here, then you could because you would be capturing these white stones. But right now you can't capture them. So, yeah. Looks like Vince did some full arts of the new strongholds. Very nice. Good game clock, yeah. Actually, there is. Hold on, let me. This is just a digital clock. Yeah, I guess there's not really a good game clock. There's probably a mod for a game clock. There's some okay mod ones. Yeah, I mean obviously the servers with like the built-in stuff are better, but it is nice having just like a sandbox environment and you can move things around. They still do the promos for Top of Clan in the Discord League, right? someone knows how to script on Tabletop Simulator, make a Byo-Yomi clock. Calamari Atari, are you just a Go player? Did you play?
No, I'm trying to see if there's any moves left yet to make.
Okay, sure.
Leaning towards no, but I could be missing something.
You are, yeah, it looks like, so you're just a Go streamer? Yeah, so this Go stream is actually aimed at members of another community that I'm part of. I play a card game called Legend of the Five Rings, which is like based on, Japanese samurai and stuff. So Go is kind of related to that, so I'm trying to start a thing in that community where we get people interested in Go and maybe have like a Go club on our server. Hopefully it takes off. I'll go ahead and follow you. How long have you been playing? So, yeah, dogs are barking a little bit, but there is one more move. What rank are you? I haven't actually played in a while. This is probably my first game in like a year or something. It's it's been too long. Been playing since the AlphaGo matches. Cool. But back when I used to play, my highest rank was 2Q. Around 9Q now. That's pretty good. So the last move that's actually worth points is, well, not worth points actually, but the last move you would play is here. And you don't actually have to play it immediately. The reason you would have to play it eventually, though, is because I would eventually play here, and then that would be threatening to capture your 3 stones by playing there. So you would have to connect, and that would be the game. There are no other moves that are worth points. So, you guys playing Japanese rules? Yeah, just Japanese rules. Yeah, 2Q is pretty okay. Could be better, could be worse, right? So this group up here does not have enough space to make eyes, so it is dead. It has one eye here. These 2 spaces form one eye, but you can't make 2 because if you play in either of those spaces, you still just have 1. So I could capture it whenever I wanted by playing here, and then if you capture me, you only have 1 liberty, so I just play there and capture the whole group. Or if you don't capture me, you only have 1 liberty, so I play there and capture. So those are dead. So I was ignoring a few of the moves that you made here because I didn't really need to play there anymore. And that's something you'll see sometimes, like, that's something that takes a lot of experience to really see, is like, do I need to play another move here, or is it just a waste of a move, right? And that's something you'll see sometimes, like, that's something that takes a lot of experience to really see, is like, do I need to play another move here, or
Why
is
do
it
I have
just
an
a
echo?
waste of a move, right?
Oh, I think
I think you hosted me and I was on your channel. Whoops. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, it would definitely be cool to make it to Dawn rankings, but I feel like I never really had enough motivation. I used to have a local Go club that would meet every week, and there was a guy there who was, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it was my bad for leaving that window open, I guess. Um, there's a guy at my local Go club who was like the same rank as me, and he kept getting better, and I kind of just kept up with him. But then he had to move to a different state to go to school. Oh, hi Neff, how's it going? So yeah, our local Go club hasn't been meeting, so I kind of just haven't been playing recently. Don't really have a whole lot of motivation to play online, I guess. But yeah, so this group is dead. This group is, or these two stones are dead as well. Everything over here is all connected, so they're all fine. They have plenty of eyes there. So if we were to remove the dead stones, it would look like this. And that's not bad. Um, you definitely played a lot better that game than the first game. Well, I mean, we don't have one anymore, so I don't know if I'm that lucky, but yeah, it was definitely fun going there every week and playing Go. Um, Go is something I've always wanted to try but never played. Seems hard to start. It's actually not hard to start if you have someone to teach you. Um,
I will kind of speak to that, and that Go has always seemed somewhat intimidating to me, but after going through this, it's actually not too bad.
yeah, definitely. I think it kind of has that stigma of being like a super complicated game that's hard to play, but while it is pretty complicated, it's not actually that hard to play. Like the rules are actually really simple, so getting into it is not, yeah, easy to learn, hard to master for sure. Um, Neff, if you want to come on sometime, uh, Dark Souls of board games, okay. If you want to come on the stream sometime and learn how to play, I'm definitely down for more people getting into it. Ideally, I would like to get as many people as possible. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely played a lot better. Like I said, the more you play, the better you'll get. Just to go over some of the stuff at the start real quick. I played here, you played here. That's something I see sometimes is people are like, oh, well, you're playing there. That must be a good move. I'll play there as well. Which is fine. Uh, yeah, it's a pretty good move. What I would probably like a little bit better is actually playing closer to the stone here, because now you're sort of forming a wall with these stones, whereas here I can sort of try to break through a little bit. Not really, but yeah, it's both. They're both fine. I'll chill and listen while I hunt monsters. Okay, sounds good. And then I played here, you played there. So already this is like infinitely better than the start of the first game for you. You're covering a bunch of territory up here and down here, and my two stones here are kind of isolated. They don't really have a lot of room to make eyes, and they don't have a, a really good place to run to either. So yeah, keeping the initiative is definitely very important, especially when you get to higher level play. Um, that's something you'll see people talk a lot about. So what I have to do here essentially is I have to fight you and try to find a way to stay alive. So I play there, you play there. This is good. It's keeping me from getting through to the edge and cutting your stones apart. I played here, you played here. Again, this is good. This captures this white stone. I play here to threaten to capture that, and you capture here. That's correct as well. I played here. You played there. So again, I was just threatening to capture that stone so I could get a free move in, essentially. So up to this point, I think you actually played pretty much perfectly. I don't think there's much you could have done better. So this white stone here is effectively dead. So because of that, it means these two groups are connected to each other. So you have all of that bottom territory. My white stones are still not in a much better spot than they were before, and you still have all the top as well. So I'm still in a bad spot. Um, I played here up next. So my idea here was if I can play here, I can capture this black stone. So I think the right move for you would be to, you could just directly connect like this. That would be fine. You could also play here. What this does is it makes a shape with these two stones called the tiger's mouth. It's when you have three stones in a triangle like that. And they call it that because you can't stick your hand in the tiger's mouth or you get eaten. So that essentially is a way to prevent white from playing here without actually connecting. If white plays here first, that's like a poke, then he's saying, okay, now I can go in there. But you could just respond by connecting. And the other thing that this does is it puts more pressure on this stone here. I believe, let's see what happened. I think you played here, something like that. And I went ahead and captured. This move was kind of a waste of a move because I can still capture there. At this point, this stone is just dead, so you should just let it go. That's another thing that is really important and comes with experience, is knowing when you should just let stones die. It's definitely like a, you know, you have to prioritize, like, okay, I can let this stone die, but then I still get all this, so I'm fine, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing if your stones get captured, and in fact, you'll actually see a lot of higher level players using strategies where they sacrifice some of their stones in order to get more somewhere else. So I captured those. So this is where I'm like, okay, I have one eye now in the middle here. So I'm halfway to being okay. So all I have to do now is get another eye. Yeah, maintaining the initiative is very important. And then I think this would have been a very good move. It makes a double tiger's mouth here and here. So it protects, it connects all of these stones together basically. I can't remember where you played at this point, but essentially I started to sort of poke away at the top. You were doing a very good job of keeping all of your stones connected and safe earlier on. I think you just kind of got a little bit, what's the word? You weren't careful enough here, I guess. Play the attach under on the right. Right there. Okay. Yeah, that's actually not bad. You do have to know how to follow it up though. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about this game. Should I join your Discord if I don't play L5R but do play Go? If you want to. So our Discord server is a server just for L5R. There are a lot of different iterations of the game. There is the old card game, the new card game, the RPG. We do have some chats on there as well. Yeah, there was a discussion about setting up a Go Club server on there, but yeah, it is primarily L5R. We do have some places for talking about like other card games, other RPGs, stuff like that, but it is mainly L5R. However, if you are interested in L5R, all 5 editions of the RPG, yeah. If you are interested in L5R at all, I would definitely check it out. It's a pretty cool game, especially if you like fantasy, samurai, and stuff, and you like card games. And yeah, maybe if we can get enough people interested, we'll have a Go Club channel on there. See how it goes. Yeah, definitely. If you want to learn L5R, just we we should do a learn L5R video. Yeah, I mean I kind of have a video like that, but not so much learn L5R as get better at L5R. Okay, yeah. Sideshow posted the link to the Discord server. He is one of our moderators on the server. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I'm on the Discord a lot. If you ping me sometime, I can help you out with learning the game if you want. I also stream on this channel a lot of our cup games, but most of those are like high level play. Yeah, it's a big server. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all there is to say about this game. So, do you want to keep playing?
Up to you. I'm good for at least one more.
All right. I was kind of thinking maybe we could get Tristram Wolf on here and you could try playing against him.
Yeah, that would work.
You want to come on, Tristram Wolf? I'll see if I can. All right, cool. Oh, Sideshow can come on soon as well. Yeah, if I mean, I don't really have anything else to do for the rest of the day, so I'm down to just like keep rotating people in here as we get more people to play. If you guys want to do that.
Yeah, I'll happily rotate out as people wanna play and stuff.
Yeah, even if you don't have a mic, that's fine. You could come and join. And I'm bad, only played it like 3 times. Well, that's one more than Masami, right? So you should be fine. Oh, the server, yeah. I need to send you a message. Let me find you on Discord. Hold on. The server name is Court Games IRL. And for those of you who are not familiar with Legend of the Five Rings, maybe I'll just post it here and let people join. Let me get that font size up. Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with L5R, Court Games IRL is kind of a joke based on one of the cards. Let me bring that up here. Can show a picture of it. So this is Court Games, the card. As you can see, it is depicting 2 people playing Go. So, seemed appropriate. It also happens to be one of the most ubiquitous cards in the game. It's in pretty much every deck, which I'm pretty happy about. Because it has
Oh
Go,
yeah, it's a
Go on it.
fantastic card.
Yeah. I've been thinking about doing some custom full art promos for Court Games. Using like traditional Japanese artwork. Oh hey, there's Sideshow. Like there's some cool artwork like this one. This one is more like crab themed. But yeah, it could be fun. So Sideshow's here. Oh, there's Tristram Wolf. So yeah, if you guys, Tristram Wolf knows how to play already. I don't know how much of the stream Sideshow caught, so he may or may not know how to play. But yeah, if two of you want to just start a game, like Tristram Wolf and Masami, maybe. I don't know if Sideshow wants to play right now or not. But yeah, if the two of you play, I think we will do Masami on black with probably 5 stones. Tristram Wolf said he was like 10 Q, I think. See how it goes. Oh, there's somebody else. The default push to talk is C, I think. Can try that. If not, you can go in the menu, configuration, and controls, voice chat. Moo to you too, hello. That's a pretty good username. Oh, it has a 2 at the end as well, though. 2 2s.
Yeah, the stones are a little sticky to actually pick up. I was having some trouble myself adapting to it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Um, you can't hold down on it. You have to just click and drag. Or you can do that. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Alrighty, I think this is the shitty microphone, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
Alright.
Sounded pretty good, or at least I could hear you, so.
It's been a long time since I've played on the 9x9 board, so I'm not expecting to do super amazing with this.
Yeah, you should be fine. We can always reduce the handicap as well. Maybe I should zoom in on the board a little bit more. I should probably mute that.
Building a wall right down the middle this time, huh?
So we have Tristram Wolf on white and Masami on black. Are you sure you're not a crab player? It's a nice wall there.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I
that
will
is
say
a,
they are my second favorite clan, so.
Oh,
that is a
nice.
pretty fine wall you built.
And it is black's move, correct?
That is correct.
Ah, I was thinking it was yours.
Whoops, I pressed space. Now I have to redo that. Let's see how to make this look good. 5-stone handicap, yeah. White should just play 1-1. Yeah, white could play the 1-1, I guess. Yeah, 5-stone handicap is definitely pretty hard on the 9x9. Let me turn it this way, actually. We might have to reduce it a little bit. I mean, Masami was a completely new player at the start of the stream, but she's learning pretty fast. Let's see. I'm not sure if I should, like, if I mute myself in the game and just talk to the stream if either of these players are watching, because then maybe I shouldn't do that. Or maybe I shouldn't talk about the game, that is. Ooh, white gets a capture there. Still needs to live in the corner. Commenting would be cool, yeah. They're probably not listening. So, okay, so black, with that move, black is gonna, yeah, it's not a serious game anyway. Black is just gonna give up the corner to white, it looks like. So those two black stones there are now pretty dead, meaning white is pretty alive. So this big wall down the middle might not do a whole lot. White should just, white should just extend there. But, oh, black doesn't punish. I guess it wouldn't be much of a punish anyway. White extending there is, yeah, it's fine actually. Now you just connect. Black can force you to capture now. Black seriously needs to make some points though. Black should probably switch focus to the bottom right corner. Since that area is still pretty open. Okay, that's good. So white should probably try to capture that stone in the bottom right. You have the top left corner. Okay, he's going to make some more territory. Yeah, I think he should play on the second line here. That jump seems good. So if you play on the third line, you're a little bit open. There's a capture. White going to extend there. Black plays inside the white territory. White connects on top. So white has 2 corners now. Black has the other 2 corners, but they're a little bit smaller. There's a double Atari. Black extends. That's actually a mistake. Black can capture now, and does do so. Yeah, you should have captured the other 2 stones. Small error there. Should be maybe fine though. This actually could be the difference. Let's do a quick count. No, white's ahead by a pretty fair amount. No Komi, it's a handicap game. I actually haven't even explained Komi to the newer player. Maybe I will do that after this game. Yep, that's going to be a capture there. So yeah, again, white should be completely fine here, I think. Black has a couple of forcing moves. Black definitely wants to play a move in the bottom left corner that's worth a couple of points. That might be one of the biggest moves right now. I would definitely play the forcing move 1 space above the center at some point, although you don't have to immediately. That's a good move as well, if you can get it on the intersection there. There we go. Yeah, that's not
Doing
bad.
this with a trackball mouse, so the sensitivity is not the great.
Yeah, that explains it.
Yeah, that'll make life a little more difficult.
Yeah, so this is fine. It forces
I
white
use
to
my wrist a whole ton, but just need to
fill
adjust
there.
some settings later.
Now black can make a point there later. So there's the forcing move in the center, there's the bottom left, and then there's the top. Bottom left is 4 points Gote, I think. Possibly even more, actually. Actually, the bottom left is really big, now that I think about it, because if white plays there, yeah, now black has to play over the top to create eyes inside. Ooh. That is obviously not good. Yeah, so black could be forced to just connect all the way back now, which is really bad. That's losing a lot of points here. White, of course, was already in a great position, so doesn't really need them, but Let's see. Let's move over there. Yeah, that should have just been a capture there. Why not play Go on any Go server? Well, this was mainly just to teach a new player how to play, so we're just using Tabletop Simulator to sort of learn the rules. Ooh, that's actually dangerous. White can't connect now. And I think he's realizing that. Yeah, so that again is why it should have been the capture earlier. And yeah, he does capture now. So black can fight a Ko here. It's not a very big one though. Yeah, so the player playing black in this game is a new player. Oh. That is another illegal move there. Yeah, currently this is the last liberty for these two black groups. So you can't fill that one in. And then the other player who is currently playing white is like a 10Q player, I think. This was a handicap game. Yeah, so again, that code doesn't seem very important.
Is this down here another one of those Ko situations?
Yes, so you can play there and capture that white stone, and then that means he cannot immediately capture back. He has to play somewhere else. But yeah, it's a shame that the bottom left didn't go black's way.
Can I play there now to fill that in so we can't recapture?
Yes. That is often how a Ko ends, actually, is the players just fill it in so it can't continue. Ooh, we have another Ko down at the bottom. And all this stuff in the top left means that black didn't get the forcing move here, which is unfortunate. It now becomes a point for white. Oh, black just going to play it now, though. White going to continue the Ko. Black fills, so then white just... Oh, maybe not. If black fills there, then the game is just over. White captures, and the ko ends. Ooh, that was not correct. Have to talk about that after the game. This is a mistake. White should finish the ko. And black filling in their own territory. So we've reached a point now where you're kind of just filling in your own territory with this move. Like this was 1 point of territory before, but if you play here now, it's no points. So black is so charitable. Yeah, so
you can play a different move there if you'd like. That move isn't really doing anything for you.
yeah, so we're at sort of the end of the game here where there aren't a whole lot of moves left that actually will gain you points, or even just not lose you points. So generally, once you get to that point, you don't want to play moves inside of your own territory. Well, I mean, you never want to do that, really, but unless you have to. But yeah, all of your territory up in this corner, everything is connected, and it has plenty of eyes, so it's all safe. So you don't have to play any more moves in there. So if you can find a move anywhere else that would get you points, then you should play that. Otherwise, you would just pass.
Yeah, I was basically seeing much, so
So do you want to pass then?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
So
then I'll go ahead and pass as well.
yeah, so there was technically one thing left, which was this ko here. Whoops, I switched my... shoot. I switched my cursor, hold on.
You're talking about the one here and here.
Yeah. I'll just leave that there. Yeah, so black could play here now and recapture this white stone. And then potentially even later play there and recapture that stone as well. So actually, instead of playing this move, which was not worth points, white should have probably just ended the ko, either by capturing or connecting.
Yeah, I wasn't paying enough attention there. It's instead of playing that dame, I should have just ended the ko, but it worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have plenty of points either way, so it's probably not a big deal. But yeah, so
I totally didn't even see it, so
yeah, so these two black stones are dead, those two are dead, and then these three up here. So this is all white territory, and this is all black territory. You can count it if you want. There are a lot of captures. That might be confusing. Maybe not if you do that. But yeah. There are going to be too many black stones. So it looks like 17 white and less than that black.
Yeah, good game.
yeah, good game.
Yeah, so your strategy that game to make the big wall down the middle, it was definitely interesting, but you still have to get some territory, right? So white was just kind of able to get more territory that game than black. Um, I don't know. There are probably one or two things I could talk about if we went back through it. I don't know if you guys want to or not.
That's up to you guys.
I don't mind the review. I learn a little something new each time.
All right, let's do it then. So, also, Sideshow, have you picked up the rules by now? I don't know how much of the stream you caught. If you want to hop in and play a game, just let us know. So we start out like this, then jumped into the corner. So this whole time black is building this large wall, which is pretty good. It means that everything over here is pretty likely black territory, so white kind of needs to do something about that. So what white did about that was came in here. So attaching to this black stone like this, if black plays this correctly, you can probably just kill that white stone since he's all alone in this black territory. Probably what you should do is, I think just playing here is fine. Because now this white stone only has 2 liberties left, and one of them is on the edge, and the other one is, going towards these black stones. And there's
With that wall, I sort of had to play into the fact that I knew my opponent was newer and probably wouldn't be very good at things like that.
Right, and
So I just sort of had to play into that. It was my only real option, I think.
yeah, and I mean that's part of handicap games, so yeah, but this move definitely would have worked, I think. There's not really much white can do here to live. You played here, so you were 1 space off. I think that is another Go proverb. They say like the difference between an amateur and a professional is 1 space. A lot of times you'll see weaker players playing just 1 space off of what would have been a really good move. So black extends here. White connects. Also empty triangle. Oh, right, the black one there. Yeah, so this, maybe I should say something about that. This black shape here is what we call an empty triangle. And that's kind of the typical example of what is not a very good shape. The reason for that is, as it stands here, these 2 black stones are already connected, because if white fills in one of the 2 spaces, black will just play the other one, like this. But if white doesn't fill in one of the spaces and black plays the other one, black has essentially just wasted this move because it isn't really doing a whole lot for you. It's just kind of filling in a space you didn't need to fill in. That's something you see a lot of. That's kind of the typical bad shape. White sort of did the same thing here, but that was fine because it's connecting these 2 white stones. Since there's a black stone here, the only way to keep them connected is to play there. So that's not an empty triangle because it's filled in. Let's see. Black plays here. Then we saw a little clamp there. That was fun. Again, this black stone is captured now, since it can only run to the edge. Black plays here, so that's threatening to capture the white stone as well. White is going to capture. And so at this point, it's still not over for black. This white group still only has one quote-unquote eye, which you could actually make you can make it into a false eye, but I haven't explained what that is, so I won't go into it right now. But yeah, I think the correct move for black here is to extend. Right. Let me play it out real quick. Yeah. Yeah, this works. Because white can't make Oh, actually, if white plays here, that's 2 eyes. Hold on. So maybe white's actually just alive here.
I think it still gets difficult in this pattern you were showing for white here, because if black cuts like you were saying, this stone is still really easy to put a lot of pressure on. If I
Oh,
play,
wait. Yeah, because
yeah,
this
if I play this move,
this is a false
yeah,
eye.
you can Atari.
Yeah, so yeah, it's fine.
I lose that eye, and then you Atari here, and it just gets really nasty really fast. So
Yeah, so white would be dead there. The actual move was here, which is not terrible, I guess, if you're just going to give up the corner. White plays here, so now at this point white is pretty much alive. Black is going to play here, I think. Yeah. And then at this point I was like, white should just extend, right? But you actually played here. And I guess it's still fine. Like if black plays here, you just come out and you're fine. I don't know. I feel like I like extending better though. Because this way, like if black plays here, it's, I don't know. It's probably fine either way.
yeah, at that point I was looking at, I'm alive pretty much no matter what. As long as I just keep the liberties on these 3 stones right here low, in case I put myself in some shortage of liberties problem later, I'm probably going to be fine in that department.
Yeah, that makes sense. Black is going to play here. And I think now... Oh, you came out here. Interesting.
Yeah, again, at that point I can always capture that 1 black stone there and be perfectly fine. So I probably had some bigger moves on the board elsewhere, but I was just looking at, I can make the territory that you're building over there on the side a little bit smaller.
Yeah, and this actually,
I'll go ahead and do that.
This ended up coming into play later as well when you reduced the corner by making these into false eyes. So that worked out. Black's going to play there. White connects. So at this point, black has a forcing move here. If black plays here, a forcing move is what we say when you can play a move and it forces your opponent to respond. If black plays here, these white stones are all in Atari, so white would need to fill in one of his own spaces of territory. You don't want to do that immediately because it's not a particularly large move. You want to probably try to save that for when it's potentially, if there's like a co-fight, you can use that as a co-threat. You definitely...
Yeah, I could also just capture this black stone right here to get out of it as well and leave this space be.
Yeah, that is probably what you do, but either way it does force a response, and it makes this into a point as well. So the other thing is white can't play here until first capturing or something. So this should be a point no matter what. What actually ended up happening though was there were some moves played over here which ended in I think, was there a connection there? Yeah, there was. So that made this into a move that white could play and actually did. So I definitely would have wanted to get that forcing move in at some point. So black plays here, that's fine. White can give up that stone. White's going to come down here and make some more territory. This was the point where I was saying, okay, this corner is pretty much settled. We know what that's going to look like. So the place that's still really open is down here, right? So that's where both players should be looking to make some territory now. This move is not bad, but it's a little bit too small. White's going to get a lot more points by doing this. And then actually capturing here, this is one of those moves that is not actually necessary because this white stone can't run away at this point. If it tries, you just do this. So playing there was kind of a waste of a move. I think I have energy for one more game. Do you want to come in and play? If you want to come and play, you feel free.
Yeah, I should probably go and attend to a few other things, so someone's more
Alright.
than welcome to take over for me.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there are a couple more interesting things in this game, so I'll keep going over the review. But yeah, if you wanna jump in here, let me know and I can PM you the details. I guess I'll just leave it on. No, I'll just PM it. So this black move here was kind of playing inside white's territory, so not really ideal. Let's see, if you want to reduce... At this point, it's kind of tough with those two white moves. What can you do? Maybe you can crosscut and try to get something.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anytime you have a crosscut, it can end in a fight. So with a fight there, it's hard to know exactly what would happen, but it's very possible for black to do something like that.
Yeah, so just to explain that a little more, this move here is called a crosscut because these two black stones and these two white stones are kind of both cut off from each other in like a cross pattern. Usually that's a move that will start fights. Hello. Welcome to the party. Yeah, but this move happened, this happened. Some other stuff happened here. The one thing I do want to look at, though, is... Oh, this was actually a small mistake. This happened, then this move was played. At this point, white should capture here. But instead, you captured here. Just small mistake there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't think that just capturing the two stones worked.
Yeah,
For
I mean...
some reason, my brain...
Yeah, it happens. The other thing I want to look at... Okay, cool. So this corner down here. When white plays here, black should probably immediately play here. This move right here is deceptively large. And I think that's probably hard to see, but what happens if you don't play there is white plays here, which he did end up doing later. And now what you have is you're potentially going to have to connect these two spaces so your stones don't get captured. For example, at this point, black should play here. You've already lost these 2 points of territory, so it's already not good. If you play here, you're fine, though. If you can win the ko, that is. But I think you should be able to. Yeah, you have this threat. Yeah, so you should be fine.
Yeah, black has threats, and black gets to start the ko. So
Yeah.
It's really easy for black to win this.
Yeah, so if white doesn't even want the ko, then black just plays here. Now these two are eyes, so you don't have to connect at all. If white plays here, though, now eventually we're going to get a situation where white fills these in. Now black has to play here and here. And you actually have to do that beforehand. So as soon as white plays here, this is when black has to fill in. If you wait until here, it's too late, because now if you fill in, you only have 1 liberty and white can capture you. So that becomes a little bit dangerous there. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that game, I think. Oh, so yeah, I guess Masami will be heading out then. Thank you for coming on and playing.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Be happy to come back sometime else.
Yeah, sure. Hopefully we can continue doing ghost streams in the future. So let's see, who wants to play now? We could actually do 2 boards if we really wanted to, but I don't know if we need to do that.
No, I think with the setup we've got going, it would probably be fine to just watch, have one game and the other 2 can watch.
Yeah, for sure. The dogs are barking right now, so I'm gonna go see what's going on. Alright, so it looks like we're gonna get whoops, I turned my mic off. Shoot, what button am I pressing? There we go. So it looks like we're gonna do Sideshow versus WHW or Nemo. So yeah, if you're both Nemo, I know you said that you've only played like 3 games, so, and Sideshow hasn't played at all yet, I think. So if you think you're both gonna be pretty even, we could probably just do Nemo on black with no Komi, maybe. Or sorry, Sideshow on black with no Komi is what I meant.
Yeah, that would probably work out just fine. I don't even know what Komi is for a 9x9 board, so.
I think they usually just do the same as on the full-size board, so 6.5. Had one evening of play 3 years ago. So yeah, probably just let Sideshow play black, and then just do no Komi. I don't know if they know what a Komi is or not, but they don't need to. So, Sideshow, did you pick up the rules, you think, or do you need any more explanation? What's a Komi? So, I'll explain that real quick. So, Komi is, so traditionally, black had the advantage in Go because black went first. So what they did to kind of counteract that is they said, okay, we're going to invent something called the Komi, where at the end of the game we add 6.5 points to white's score to make up for going second. The reason there's a half point in there is just so there's never any ties, because there's no way to naturally get half a point. So essentially white wins ties and then also gets 6 extra points. It turned out, though, that the Komi was a little bit too large, and white now has the advantage, so they're talking about maybe changing it. But yeah, currently it's different in some rule sets too. Like it can be 7.5 in some and 6.5 in others, I think. Maybe even 8.5. I don't know. But yeah, the kind of the problem is we don't know what the exact right number is because we don't know what the perfect game of Go looks like. Like ideally, we could figure it out by having both sides play perfectly, and then whatever black won by would be the komi. But since the game is so complicated, there's not really a thing such as perfect play. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. The komi was instated actually relatively recently in Go's history. It was like a few hundred years ago, I think, maybe in the 1800s. So yeah, it's a relatively recent thing. It kind of started because before like the Edo period in Japan, which was like 1700s, I think, professional Go was not a thing. It was just something that like wealthy people who had the luxury of free time did. It was also seen as like kind of one of the arts. Like I know in ancient China, they they had like the four arts that all wealthy people tried to master, which were like calligraphy, Go, poetry was one, I think, and then something else. I don't remember. But yeah, in Edo period Japan, Japan started sponsoring professional Go players who would just play Go and get paid for it. And that was when things started getting serious. And that was why Japan was actually the center for Go for a long time, until Korea finally kind of took that from them. Still a lot of really strong Japanese Go players, though. What was I going to look up? But yeah, so Sideshow, if you think that you know how to play, then you can go ahead and start. Since you're playing black, you will have the first move. And you can just play on any open intersection. No, you are not coming through on the mic. That, yeah, that is a problem, I guess. Uh, Maybe you need, no. I mean, we could move to Discord if you guys want. What happened? Oh. Yeah, so I mean, it's up to Sideshow, I guess, because he would be the only one that it would affect. If you want to go on Discord, we can do that. Oh wow, I'm looking it up, and apparently the komi was actually introduced in the 1930s, so even more recent than I thought.
Yeah, Komi is a relatively new innovation to Go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's the subject of a lot of debate because, like I said, a lot of the komis are considered too much for white right now, so white has an advantage. Hikaru no Go taught me that. Yeah, there is, for those of you who don't know, there's an anime about Go. Um, it's not bad. I watched it. Uh, Probably should have read the manga instead, but oh well. Yeah, it was really popular back when it came out. I'm pretty sure that it caused like after it came out, a lot of kids started getting into Go because of it. Um, Before that, Go was kind of seen in Japanese culture as like an old man's game, I think. Yeah, definitely boosted the popularity a lot. Came out in 2001. Whoops. Zoom in on this. Yeah, it's a pretty cool anime if you're interested in Go. Like the premise of it is kind of just to hook people, but it actually like the main character at some point decides to become a professional Go player, and you actually get to see a lot of like what goes into that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that is a capture there. Yeah, I mean, this is probably fine actually for black, as long as white doesn't. Like, I think you just you play a protecting move now, and then you play for influence. Go for the other half of the board, because this white group is pretty much isolated to the corner here. That move is not ideal. Yeah, so white can start doing some Ataris now and try to cut through here. Again, hopefully they're not listening to the stream. uh, I mean, I just want to talk about it if you want to keep listening. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably doesn't matter too much. What would I use to play L5R online? Are you on the... were you one of the people who was here earlier that I was talking about it with? Well, either way, um, if you don't have the link to the Discord already, I would definitely head over to there. Let me get the link for you. Oh, where'd my stream go? There it is. So here's the link to the L5R Discord. Oh, been here for about 15 minutes. So the website for playing Legend of the Five Rings is here. That is a website that was created by fans of the game who are volunteers. It's not an official implementation, but that is where we all go to play. But again, if you're a new player and you want to learn how to play, definitely go visit the Discord server, and you can ask questions there. People will be happy to help you. If you are already an experienced player, then you can just go to jikoku.online. You can import a deck from the Five Rings database website, or you can just build one on there. Let's see what's happening in the game. Whose move is it? Is it White's move? Yeah, looks like it is. I don't like that. Black can just capture now. White should have connected out. Yeah, there's the capture. Pretty good. So if White doesn't play a move on the top side now, or at least the top from my perspective, it's a little bit dangerous here. They're kind of tied. Black has a bigger corner on the bottom right than White's corner in the bottom left. White still does have some Atari moves towards the top left, but yeah, White should definitely... Okay. I don't really like this move. Black can just connect now. Yeah, there we go. Could be worse, I guess, though. So yeah, White needs to... Okay. That is a capture. It is kind of small, though. I don't really like it. I think Black just... Ooh, tries to run away. Yeah, White doesn't actually need to respond to that. Actually... Black can capture now. Yeah, White did need to respond to that. Potentially, though, White can capture this whole black group here. You have some forcing moves with the 3 stones towards the center. So I think we might see a big capture. Alright, I gotta go do something. I will be back very soon. Whoops, small text. Let me just put this here. Ooh. That last white move. Wait, what? Did black connect or something? Yeah, so those black stones are dead. That is something that has transpired. So I think white just wins now, as long as there are no severe mistakes. I was big into L5R since Imperial Edition and played until the IP was sold. Mantis Life Forever, fan of the TTRPG also. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely head over to the Discord. We have a lot of people on there who are very friendly and will be happy to help you. Um, Definitely always nice to see players from the old game. Another feature we have is you can join a clan on the server and get access to that clan's private chat. So you can join the Mantis clan, get the Mantis clan tag, and you will have access to the private Mantis clan chat. You can talk to other people in your clan. And yeah, there are a lot of people on there who will be happy to help you learn the rules of the new game. And we also have a Discord league that happens monthly. There's no requirements for entry other than just knowing how to play the game. So that is a great way to get experience. And yeah, if you weren't already aware, on this channel I stream a lot of the Discord Cup games. So once you have a basic understanding of the rules, you can come on here and watch games and ask questions if you have any. They're mostly pretty high-level games, so good games to watch. Oh, that's really funny actually, that you just came here to see Go. Yeah, small world for sure. Yeah, the point of this stream was actually to be kind of to try and kickstart a Go community on the L5R server. I'm hoping if we can get enough people interested and playing regularly, we can get some kind of like Go channel on there. So yeah, more Go players on there is always good. All right, let's see what's happening here. So White's dogs. White's territory is currently everything but the bottom right. Black can actually break into the top right now. There's an Atari there. It is a Ko though. Yeah, so that would be an illegal move if it didn't capture the black stone, but as long as you capture a stone with a suicide move, you're fine, because then after you capture it, that space is empty. You can kind of think of it like capturing your opponent's stone has priority over capturing your stones, so you capture theirs first, and then you're fine, because you have that space. Yeah, now it is a Ko. So black is not allowed to play here immediately, since that would bring the game back to the previous state. So yeah, black has to play somewhere else first, like there, and now white can fill in the ko or play somewhere else and continue to fight. Well, now it wouldn't be a ko anymore because if black played there, he would capture both of these stones. So either way, the ko would end. Yeah, Tristram Wolf. That sounds good. If you want to try to get him involved, that would be pretty cool. For now, I think most of the streams are just going to be like completely new players like this. Um, but yeah, it would be cool to get a really strong player in here as part of our community. He runs his own stream. What is his Twitch username? I might have seen him around before. I used to hang out in Ghost Stream sometimes, but if he doesn't stream a lot, then I probably haven't seen him. Oh, Colassius, yeah. Yeah, I know him. I mean, I don't like personally know him. I've never interacted with him, but I've seen him around. He's a cool guy. Yeah, if you could get him on the L5R server, that would be awesome. It looks like Black is actually going to be able to live here potentially. That's pretty neat. He lives about 20 minutes from you. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know that he's really into like teaching people how to play Go, which is always good. So Black really needs to make two eyes. He has Miai right now. There are two moves he could play to make two eyes. He also needs to live on the bottom. That group is dangerously close to dying. Black just gonna connect everything up. Ooh. Ooh, he did it. Yeah, the main Go streamer I used to watch was Bats Go. He's like the most consistent Go streamer, I think. And probably the highest ranked one. Well, maybe not. I think there are some other people who are high ranked that stream sometimes. But yeah, he's pretty entertaining. Haven't been there in a while though. What happened? White connected. Yeah, he's definitely consistent. So yeah, it looks like Black was like this close to not losing by a lot, but didn't quite know how to make life, unfortunately. Kind of wondering at what point I should put a stop to this. Was just streaming today. Yeah, he's still a consistent streamer. Oh, really? Yeah, it's kind of been a while since I hung out in the Go streams. So, I don't know, but yeah, he was definitely the go-to stream back when I did. Um, the funny thing is White is playing unnecessary moves here when he could just kill the other group. Yeah. Ooh, and Black actually might have something here. White needs to connect out here. If he spends one more move, no. So yeah, he captures all those. I mean, White won the game um, already, but Black can get something back over in this corner. Yeah, I remember Hanayol. I know he's really strong. I used to play on KGS, but back when I stopped playing, it seemed like it was kind of dying out. There weren't really a lot of like high Don games, which was kind of sad, but I don't know, maybe it's doing better now, maybe not. Did Black play? Oh, he's thinking. He should just capture. Yeah, no reason to play back there. Play on Asian servers now? Yeah, probably. There used to be a good amount of them on KGS, but so if White connects out here and then kills this Black group, then the game should be over. Tide Jim and Fox, yeah. KGS is just not an attractive system to new players. Yeah, I guess not, which is kind of sad because I really like the interface of KGS. It is a Java-based client though, and I know some people don't like that. That was the wrong move for White. It's fine now because he got two moves in a row, but he should have just played underneath there. That would have connected out very nicely. But yeah, now white is fine, so now he just needs to kill this black group, which will take 2 moves. Oh, it's going to capture those stones. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should end it here. We're getting to the point where black is just playing unnecessary moves. I don't know. I want to see if they can resolve this last black group, though. Oh, that's not correct. Yeah, I probably should just call this game. Alright, so I feel like we're getting to a part of the game here where a lot of these moves are not really necessary. So I kind of want to just get it resolved here real quick. So, for the most part, you guys played pretty well. Oh man, I should have recorded that because I'm not going to remember it. Yeah, Sideshow definitely had some chances to win it. There are the last 2 moves that need to be played are here, and then probably connect there. Black needs to play here though, or here would also work, but this is better. If white plays this move and this move, you didn't need those other 2. If white plays both of these moves, then this black group is all dead. It has no way to make 2 eyes, and that's kind of something that you need like more experience, and you need to learn the shapes and where the vital points are. So probably hard to see, but yeah, so those 2 moves would happen. So now this black group is alive. Yeah, just life and death. And then these stones would be dead. Whoops. So yeah, a lot of those black stones were kind of unnecessary. The last thing to finish up was this group in the corner here. And yeah, white has a lot more points. The other thing that black needed to do, there are a couple things I want to look at real quick. At this point, no. Again, when we were back here, if you had played here to capture this stone, and then also played here to make this into 1 eye instead of 2 eyes, then the black group would only have 1 eye and would be dead. All black had to do, though, was just connect here, though. This has successfully made me want to own a Go board, although the TTS version is awesome. Yeah, TTS is pretty cool. I would definitely recommend it if you have some friends and like playing board games. Oh wait, you're Masami. What am I talking about? Anyway, back to this group down here. I want to look at that real quick, because this was a situation where black could have been fine. Black currently has 1 eye here. These 2 spaces are 1 eye. And then a potential eye down here. So what black needs to do here is play this move. Now this becomes an eye and the black group can't be captured. Letting white play this move here destroys that eye. Now even if black plays here and captures, white can threaten to capture back, or just let black fill in, and then he only has this 1 eye here, so white can just play in there and capture. So yeah, that was the key point there. Again, that's a life and death thing that just takes some more practice. one last thing was when Sideshow had this over here, it was basically this formation, plus or minus a few stones. These 3 white stones are actually in danger. So what white needs to do, if black plays here, then the stones are captured. The black stones take 3 moves to capture, whereas all black needs to do is play there, and he'll capture the 3 white stones. So what white needs to do is play here. Now, if these stones weren't here, this wouldn't work, because black could play here and do the same thing. But because these stones are here, if black plays here, white will just be able to capture. So it's kind of like it's kind of tricky. It's like a connection, even though there's an empty space there. And that would allow white to connect out and kill these black stones and save the white stones on the outside. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Good game. Let's see here. Are there any stones in there? Nope. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to play again, I'm down to watch another game, or if you just want to call it here, that's fine as well. Gonna go, okay, sounds good. Thanks for joining us and playing Go. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely try to do some more of these in the future. Should be good. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna call the stream there. I could play another game against Tristram Wolf, I guess, but we've been going for a while. I don't know if he wants to or not. But yeah, hopefully in the future we can start stepping people up to larger boards. Whoops. There is... Where's the Go board? It's not in there. So there is, there it is. There is a 19 by 19 board on Tabletop Simulator. That's the only one they have, though. I had to download a mod for the 9 by 9. So I'll probably have to find one for a 13 by 13 as well. We can maybe try to start stepping people up to that. And yeah, like I said, I'll probably be at Worlds this year for L5R, so if any of you guys are going to be there, I might bring a Go board and some stones, and we can play some games in person. Could be fun. I bet they like scanned an actual Go board for this. Or maybe they just used a wood texture, I don't know. Probably that, actually. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I was about to ask him if he wanted to play another game or if we should just call it there. But yeah, hopefully we can get a lot of the L5R people interested and start a Go Club channel. And there's some fun stuff we could do. We could do like maybe daily life and death problems, stuff like that. For those of you, if anyone's still here who is a new player, life and death problems are a fun way to get better at Go. Can bring one up here. Essentially, they give you a board state and you have to either kill an enemy group or make your own group live. So like in this situation, it's black's move, you have to kill white. Playing here is not going to work because white plays there, so what you actually have to do is play here. And then you play there, and now this is a false eye. So white needs to either fill that in, or black just captures it, and then white only has one eye. So that's that's a dumb one. But yeah, that's how most of them look. Just little stuff like that, trying to find the right move. Could do like one of those every day. Oh, you have to play there. I'm gonna end up doing these now. Yep. Yep. This site is pretty okay. They start you out on like lower level problems and then you move up. This is like a large board problem. I don't really know what. Yeah, that's not good. Maybe just play B. I haven't played on the full size board in a while. It's another false eye. What is this? Oh, that's a little trick there. Still waiting on him to get back. That's a lot of windows open. Oh.
Sorry about that. Just people had to call me about something and then just wouldn't.
Yeah, no problem. I was going to ask you before you left if you wanted to play another quick game or if you just want to call the stream here.
I'm going to leave that entirely up to you. I don't know how long you were streaming before I finally got in here, so it's never worked for you.
Yeah. Hold on. There's the small one. I don't like these little chests. What are they? They have yeah, this is what the mod comes with. I don't know, the chest looks kind of weird.
Yeah, those chests, they seem out of place with the tabletop and the go board and the go stones.
Yeah.
And then it's this weird like pirate chest and it's
Yeah, I just deleted them and replaced them with bags. Yeah, I have been streaming for like 3.5 hours, so I think I will actually just call it here. If you don't mind.
Good, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, but definitely gonna try to do more of these in the future. They should have the lid, yeah. You can actually, there's a little bowl, but it isn't like a container, so it's kind of hard to like put stones in it. It's weird. I don't know, it's just kind of awkward. But yeah, I'll definitely be trying to do more of these in the future, so any of you L5R people, if you want to get in on the next stream, just let me know. But yeah, that is going to be it for this stream. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.